Hello, fans of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. I'm back. I know I'm a day late, but you know what? I'm in another state and I'm at another house, so the party just kept going. It didn't stop till last night. It's been going. It went on for 6 days. Oh my God, I've aged. But I hope you all had a great Christmas or holiday or whatever you celebrate. Um, so let's get started on that great game from yesterday. I mean, what? The Bears won 41-17. So now they're 8-7. So now they either have to beat Green Bay on Sunday or the Arizona Cardinals have to lose to the Rams. But the problem with that is Jared Goff broke his thumb and he has to have surgery, so he's not playing next week. So you know, the chances are, in my opinion, not all that great, but we'll see what happens, right? Because I think either way, I think Nagy and Pace have saved their jobs, and regardless of what happens, I think they're going to be back. But you never know. I mean, I could live with again, like I said, Pace coming back, but I'd really like to see Nagy go. But whatever. So we really won't know until next Sunday what's going to happen. So let's dive into the game, which was pretty great. So Mitchell was 24 for 35 for 275 yards, and he threw 2 touchdowns. He rushed for 1 touchdown, and he really ran that offense well. I mean, he looked like he was just balling it yesterday or Sunday, and I really like. He seems to have a new confidence in himself. I don't know if you guys agree. New swagger about himself, which I really, really like. And so that's a good thing, right? David Montgomery, another great game. David, number 32. He had 95 yards. Kind of sucked that they didn't put him in so he could get a 100-yard game, but whatever. But he has passed 1,000, so he has a total of 1,001 yards for the season. So I mean, he's just been coming on, hasn't he? The last 4 or 5 games. It seems like since Mitchell's been back, everybody's really like, I don't know. We're going to get into that later, but it really seems that everybody has stepped up their game here. Have you noticed that? Allen Robinson, number 12, he had a career high 10 catches in the game to reach 100 catches this season. And the last time he did that was 7 years ago while he was in Jacksonville, because he was with Jacksonville, and then in 2018 he joined the Bears. So, and I'm really happy for him because he is just doing great, man. That guy can catch. I forgot to put his total yards, but I think he has something like 1,235 total yards for the season. Really happy for him. And due to this game, this is an interesting stat. This hasn't happened since 2014, but we have a wide receiver and a running back that have passed 1,000 yards in a season. And the last time that happened, as I said, was 2014, and that was Jeffries and Matt Forte. So another good thing, when you can get your running back and wide receivers to be doing that, things are working for you. You know what I mean? And that has really started to happen in the last 4 or 5 games since Mitchell's been back. I mean, obviously they were getting yards, but now they're really doing it. And then Jimmy Graham, he had a great game yesterday. He has 2 touchdowns. He has 451 yards for the season with 8 touchdowns for the season, and he got the game ball yesterday, so that was cool. And he has also been named out of the on the Bears team, nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which is really cool. That is like a very prestige award, so good for him. Mr. Mooney, number 11, one of my favorite up and coming guys. He had 39 receiving yards yesterday. That brings him to 538 for the season with 4 touchdowns. But the thing about him on Sunday's game, it was the first time he dropped a ball all season. Yeah, he is really good. You know how much I love Mr. Mooney. So I hope the Bears do right by Allen and restructure his contract and give him a new one. So with Mooney and Allen next year, and you have David Montgomery, and we're going to get Tariq Cohen back. You know what? People think, oh, we need to do a reboot. Not really. And the offensive line is really gelling, so that's looking good. I mean, so it's it's really not as bad as everybody thought. It really had to do with Nagy calling the plays and Foles being in there. Those were the two biggest problems. So we'll see what happens. Roquan Smith, besides Hicks, is my second favorite defensive player on the team. He's our quiet little secret. He's number 58. He had two interceptions in the game yesterday. I mean, he's rocking it. And he was all over the field on Sunday. I said yesterday, Sunday. And and I don't understand why he wasn't picked to the Pro Bowl team. Only Mack and Patterson were picked. I mean, there's no game, but they were picked. And he really should have been, but what are you going to do? He leads the Bears with 136 tackles, and 17 of those were for losses, with 4 sacks and 2 interceptions. So this is his third year, and he has really come into a great player. So he is just going to keep going up and up and up. He's going to be, he's right back there to giving us good linebackers again, because that used to be our thing. I mean, look at how many great linebackers we've had in the past. So keep going, my friend. Our kicker, Santos, he extended his field goal streak to 24 games. And that has not happened since 2006 with Robbie Gold. So there is somebody they need to sign now for next season. You got to sign this guy. We have a kicker again. The Bears really broke open the game in the third quarter because entering after halftime, the score was 13-10. And in the third quarter, the Bears scored 21 points, leading to a final of 41-17 win. That was just great. And you know my thing about penalties? They only had 4 penalties for 40 yards, which, is way better. I mean, there was even an article that Nagy said, we're not making our own mistakes. And those penalties in the beginning of the year, we were averaging 8 to 10 penalties a game in the beginning of the year. And just recently, last maybe 6, 7 games, each game they've gotten better and better and better. And you know how I feel about that, because you can't win the game. You're not going to be good if you can't get those penalties down, right? This is interesting. So here is the scoring breakdown. In the last 5 games, with Mitchell being back, the Bears have scored 169 points. In the first 10 games, the Bears scored 191 points. Okay, that's the first 10 games. After they benched Mitchell in game 3, then Foles came in for 7 games, and we only scored 117 points. So really, when you think about this, it speaks for itself. Mitchell should never have been benched for Foles, because look, the numbers speak for themselves. He's scored the majority of the points and hasn't been in that much, because he came back and he's played 5 games since he was benched, and look at how many we've scored, 169. So it just doesn't. I don't have to say any more. They should never have benched him. I mean, even if they wanted to bench him for throwing that interception in that Atlanta game, sit him, let Foles win, who he came back and won the game, Foles, but then get him back in. But I think, unfortunately, the benching was probably the best thing that ever happened to Mitchell, because, in my opinion, he really seems to have grown up and appreciated it. And what I scares me is he's done with his contract, so he can go wherever he wants. And he's put a lot of good things on film, so there's going to be teams coming after him. So I don't think he's going to be back, but I would love it. I'm a fan of his. I have supported him all year long. So I'm of the thinking, keep him. You get rid of Foles. Try to somehow get rid of all that money mistake. Sign Mitchell to a prove-it contract, and then draft a young quarterback in the draft, and see if we can't mentor him while Mitchell plays. So I don't know. We'll have to see what they do, but I really, really liked what I saw. I know it's the Jaguars, but that don't mean anything, because we played easy teams early in the season and looked terrible. I mean, so I'm like the Giants. We look bad in. So, he has really grown into, I don't know, he just looks different, doesn't he? Don't you all agree with that? And I'm sorry, I probably sound terrible because I've been partying for 6 days straight and talking nonstop, so I'm kind of losing my voice. It was one heck of a party here in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. But yes, so I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But the next game, we're playing Green Bay, and just to let you know, just in case you didn't know this, the Bears game was at noon originally. It has been changed to a 3:25 game next Sunday because it means something. So again, we either got to beat Green Bay or the Cardinals have got to lose. So I don't know what the chances are, but really right now we control our own destiny, and there would be nothing better either way to see the Bears beat Green Bay because we all know we want to beat them every time we can, and they embarrassed the shit out of us the last time. So the only good thing is the game is in Soldier Field. So let's see what happens. But all the stuff I just told you is just some really good stats, and I mean, there was really nothing negative to say about that game. I mean, the Bears were just all over the place. Nichols was all over Nichols. How about that interception? See, this is the one thing the Bears have not. There's been so many games this season that the defense have had passes in their hands and then dropped them. That's why they're on defense. But Nichols, I mean, that thing was right here. He would have scored. There would have been a touchdown. But that's the thing the Bears have got to improve on next year is keeping those. I mean, if you really think back to the season, it's something I hadn't really. I should have looked in. Maybe I'm gonna look that stat up because there were so many this season that it seemed like every game, at least we had the defense had a chance to get an interception, and they dropped them. And years past, how many times did we have? And that's huge if you can get your defense to get interceptions because you're putting your offense back out there, and you're keeping their offense off the team. So they really gotta learn how to. Catch those balls when they're right there in their breadbasket, man. I think I could have caught that ball, but so we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you know me, I always want the Bears to win, right? But I'm torn here. Um, I'd like to go to the playoffs because there's nothing better to see your team in the playoffs. But I feel like there could be one and done, and then we're going to drop down in the draft. But I guess we should just look to the positive and hope they win, right? Because it really is Green Bay, and that's like our Super Bowl. We beat Green Bay on Sunday, right? So, but that's it. I know my show was late this week, um, but sorry. Like I said, it was been party on Sunday. I had to record the game because me and my family we were at Top Golf, and that is just so fun. If you've never done Top Golf, you should really. I know they're in Illinois. You should really do it. It's really, really fun. We just had a blast. So I had to record the game and then come home and watch it so I could talk to you guys. And then yesterday we went down to Broadway Street in Nashville and kind of checked it out. And fortunately, because of that idiot that blew up his RV and himself all over the place. Part of it was closed down, so we couldn't see all of the Broadway and down in Nashville, but we saw a lot of them. And a lot of places weren't open, but we did manage to find a place. We sat out and ate on the rooftop and grooved to some, Nashville music. So that was fun. So that's why the show was late. But you are such loyal fans. I know you're gonna be coming back for this show. You were probably like, "Where is she? Is she okay?" But again, I want to thank you, fans. You are just awesome. And I don't know. I'll probably when the playoffs come. Either way, I'm gonna do the playoffs. I'm gonna do my show, and I got a lot of cool stuff. I got a microphone, a professional microphone to do my show, and I got a professional lighting system to do my show. Right, which is probably gonna make this look a little better. Because remember, it ain't a good look on a woman. It's only a good look on a man. Because I look like my dad. So as I always say to you, let's stick together. 2020 is almost over. Love each other, help people out, because we're in this together. And, it's just, we're almost there. We're days away to a new beginning and a new year. Okay? The next show will be on Friday, which will be New Year's Day. Oh boy, I got to think about that. Will I really want to be doing a show on Friday? Because I got to tell you what, I've kept my glasses on even though I can't really read with them, when they're on, because I'm trying to hide all the wrinkles I got from all the partying the last 6 days. Man, I'm not used to it. I'm 62. I'm just not used to that. And one other thing I'm going to shout out is we welcomed a new baby into our family, Callan Avery, 6 pounds, 16 ounces, to my niece and my nephew, their second boy. And then my nephew and his wife announced at Christmas that they are having a baby in July. So my family is growing and more Bear fans are coming. So, as always, thank you and keep on rocking and rolling. I can't say Vegas, so it's keep on rocking and rolling from Nashville, Tennessee. See you later.